Hey Candace, I'm Jean.
Hey Jean, I'm Candace.
Yay. So we're here
So
talking
we're
about the
here
book and the deck. Yep.
talking about the deck and the book that Jean authored and that I designed the artwork for.
hmm
And, inquisitive minds want to know, Jean, what's so special about this deck?
Well, the deck is beautiful art. And the cool thing about this particular book and deck combo is that we offer a solution. If you're a reader and you love to read text, we have a full book for that. It won't be spiral bound, by the way. It'll be
300 plus pages. Yeah, it's
yeah.
a big book.
We got some teachings, we got some, and look at that full color. It's going to be full color with all of the beautiful art that you did, that we collaborated on to bring this whole thing to life. So if you're a picture lover, and you like a little pithy statement and you just like to dig into art and like let that bring up and go deep into your consciousness that way. If you respond to color, some people really do. I do, I know. Candace, I'm sure you do being an
I'm
artist.
very aesthetic, yes.
Yeah. So we have that. If you're more of a like, well, I really like to get down and read about it, please let's talk about it more. We've also have some fleshed out amazing teachings, these timeless teachings, fleshed out from a very practical, from a very right here, right now, colloquial, no less potent, but actually to me more potent in that I don't have to go through the ages and figure out how does this apply to me now? These are timeless teachings in our language, at least language for me, um, that we can read about and then use the color to support that.
They're very down to earth, very conversational. Yeah, it's not hard to enter into the text. It doesn't have barriers up. It's a very generous form of conveyance.
Because I remember back in the day when we first met, Candace, how you had mentioned at some point that that's one reason why you were so drawn to my classes at the time and the teachings and those truth bombs, because it was just something that wasn't lofty.
Yeah, there was something plain-faced about it, right? Like there's no pretension. It
Yeah,
just is what it is.
yeah.
And in terms of the book, it's not just your beautiful, basically mini lectures and teachings and the artwork. There's also a lot of other things in the book.
Yeah, there, and that's as the book evolved itself, as we were here to, as the mouthpiece and art piece of this particular, of these teachings, which have the life of their own, by the way. These teachings are alive right here, right now. So as we kept going, I'm like, well, don't we should have a section about that. So what each teaching has is the teaching, which would be the ultimate, the truth bomb. We called them the isms for a long time. Uh, and then it will have, I'm looking here to make sure I don't leave anything out. So there's an introduction and all this kind of stuff, how it came about. And then the section of the book, we've got the teaching, we've got the art, we've got a text that will sort of break down and ask you some contemplation questions or to explain the teaching, flesh it out a little more. If it seems like I don't understand how that even applies, that's a big leap for me. That will help bridge that gap from where you're coming from to maybe where you're seeing yourself go. And then it's got practices, things that you can do. So it's just not this mind thing. You can actually, like, one of the practices might be stand on one leg. I don't think that's one of the teachings, the practices, but it could be something physical or something that you do in your journal or draw or dance, but they gives you some real embodiment tools. So these teachings
Mhm.
aren't just in your mind, you're taking them into practice.
There are contemplation practices, but there are active practices, journaling practices, things to try in your daily life
Yeah.
as a way of activating the teaching. There's a whole breadth of practices.
And in those practices, you're going to go deeper and deeper with the teachings because you're going to see, oh, this is how this plays out. So it leads back into itself. If you want to, and I'm going to come back to that point in a moment, to make it, if you're like in a hurry, and you don't really want to do one more practice in your life, you already have a lot of practices. There's affirmations. There's affirmations with each one of the teachings. So if you like to use affirmations, they're here for you. And going back to that, how do I put it into play? How do I learn from it? How do these teachings become even more alive for me and with me and in me? Then we go to the choose your own adventure, the create your own adventure, the CYOA section. With each teaching, you'll have all of this, and then at the bottom, you've got a list of support teachings or teachings that will take you on yet another trajectory of what that teaching might have to say. So as your questions evolve from your practices, from your application, you can go to those CYOAs, choose your own adventure, create your own adventure, and find like the next teaching that's right for you and the next area of your own journey and curiosity. So
That's one of my favorite things that we developed in the book, Jean, because it brings me back to being a kid in the 80s and the 90s, and we had the choose your own adventure tales. And you could, you're reading the adventure and you come to a door and you have to decide whether you go left or right, or decide whether you turn the light on or off. And so in the book here, we get these really powerful, suggestive teachings, and some of them might feel like they hit really hard and you understand them. And then you're like, give me more of that. Or sometimes the teaching is, you're not quite sure what to make of it. Like, I don't know what that means. How does that apply to me? Like, tell me more about that. And so then choosing your own adventure, you go to the other teaching, the next card, the next artwork, the next ism, and then it gives you another dimension to think about that original one. So it really does help you build your own practice with contemplating and experiencing these teachings in your life.
yeah, exactly. In summary, this process is really your own process. This is your journey, your path. There's no one else that will walk it for you or should design it for you. Sure, all these things that we do, like for example, this book, whatever other texts and teachers you have, all are there is to support you on your unique journey, on your unique path. So this is just one of those things. That's why it's called the Be Your Own Guide book, because you truly are your own guide, and we believe that.
Mm.
And hey, I know I need help sometimes and support. So why not put some of these things that have really supported me, supported you, Candace, out there to maybe they'll support someone else.
Yeah, it's exciting to share.
Yeah. All right. See you next video.